Parshas Lech. This week's Parsha, we learn, among other things, of a battle between kings in the area of Egypt, Mesopotamia. And there were 4 kings against the 5. The 4 were initially more powerful. And among the people who they captured Lot, Avram's nephew. The Torah says Avram sprung into action as soon as he heard the news. He took his 318 men and he joined the battle, and he was victorious, apparently miraculously so. And the king of Sodom expresses his gratitude to Avram, and Cited expresses his gratitude to Avram. Cited praises Avram. Baruch Avram lekel yom konei shamayim v'aretz. Blessed is Abraham to the highest God who exercises divine providence over the heavens and the earth. The victory was clearly a sign of hashgacha pratis, of divine providence. And then the king of Sodom steps up and he says, you know what, let's make a deal. He says, you helped us. You won the battle for us. Give me the people and you keep all the spoils. And Avram's response is interesting, to say the least. Let's look at, this is Perek Yud Daled, Pasuk Chaf Beis. So Avram's responding to this offer of the king of Sodom to split the spoils of war. Vayomer Avram el melech Sodom. So Avram responds to the king of Sodom, and he says, Harimosi yadi el Hashem kel yom konei shamayim v'aretz. I lift up my hand to God, the uppermost God, the one who exercises divine providence over the heavens and the earth. And what does he say in the next verse? That's Chaf Gimel 23. From the bow, presumably on a little girl's head, say the Meforshim, to shoelaces, top to bottom. I'm taking nothing from you. V'lo somar, you should not say, Ani yesharti es Avram. I made Avram rich. I enriched Avram. And the next verse he says, just to give my people their compensation, to give them their food, but I'm not participating in this. You shouldn't say I enriched Avram. Curious objection. Why is it curious? Well, we know earlier in the Parsha, which is in Perek Yud Beis, around Tezayin, which is verse 16. So here we have the episode of the confrontation of Pharaoh and his servants with Avram and Sarai. Avram and Sarai try to stay out of danger and stay alive by not declaring their relationship as a married couple, but rather as siblings. And Pharaoh takes Sarai, who was beautiful, and his servants noticed, and they brought notice of her to Pharaoh. Pharaoh wants her, and so he gives Avram lots of things. The verse says, "Ul Avram heitiv ba'avura." Pharaoh was very generous to Avram. Vayhilo, and he gave him tzon, sheep, ubakar, and cattle, vachamorim, and donkeys, vavadim, ushvachos, and male servants and maid servants, vasonos, and female donkeys, ugmalim, and camels. Loaded him up with all kinds of stuff, and Avram does not object. Why doesn't he say, "Harimosi yodi lekel yom konei shamayim v'aretz"? I'm raising my hand. I'm apparently taking a vow. Shelo tamar. I'm not taking anything. Shelo tamar ani yesharti Avram. You shouldn't be able to say, "I made Avram rich." What's the difference? What's the difference between what Pharaoh did and what Melech Sodom did? So one might say that when Avram engaged in the battle, he did it for one reason, and it was a morally pure reason, which is to redeem, to save his nephew who was held hostage. Funny how relevant this whole parsha becomes in a split second. Avram hears that his nephew is held hostage, jumps into action, wins the war, gets the hostage back. Says, I don't want to raise an appearance of impropriety, even if it's not inappropriate in the course of battle. When you're defeating an army, there are spoils of war. But nevertheless, Avram wanted to avoid any appearance of impropriety. Say the Meforshim. And he wanted to keep the focus on the moral quality of the battle and being Mefarsim Shem Shemayim and spreading the reputation of the Almighty. But still, he says, Shalom Tamar, Ani Yasharti as Avram, you shall not say. I don't want to put you in a position to say that you made Avram rich. It's a little curious. Pharaoh, he can say, I made Avram rich. What's this? So there is a substantive difference. One is gifts, presumably, and the other is the spoils of war. Okay. The Malbim has a different take. The Malbim says, now the word Shalot Tomar is read as you shall not say. That's a second person. Third person would be Shalo Yomar, that he shall not say. But if we say Ata, you shall not say. The Malbim has a different take on this. He says, Harimosi Yadi Lekelayon, I'm lifting up my hand to God. Why am I lifting up my hand to God? Not as some of the Meforshim explain, as a vow, as indicating an oath, but rather Avram is identifying a risk. And the risk is that one might say, one might say, it is my power, it is the power of this hand that made me successful, that got me all of this treasure. How do you debunk that? How does one, when one is successful? Well, isn't it your hand? Isn't it your hand that accomplishes? Or your tools, or the extension of your reach? And the message throughout the Torah is that it's not your hand that does it, but rather it's the Almighty who gives power to the hand. It's HaKadosh Baruch Hu who uses the hand, as the Malbim says, used Avram's hand as it were, as God's sword. In other words, it's not Avram who independently is tremendously successful in battle, but rather he has God behind him. And we generally have, we can always attribute our success to God. God is the one who gives us power to succeed. So who might suggest otherwise? The hand. The hand, metaphorically speaking, might say, I, if it were to talk, I enriched Avram. And Avram is saying, Harimosi Yodi Lekel I am raising my hand. Harimosi Yodi El Hashem Kel I'm raising my hand to Hashem, the uppermost God. Konei Shamayim Va'aretz, who supervises everything in the heavens and the earth. And then skipping a little bit, V'lo Tomar, and it shall not say. The Tomar is not you shall not say, but rather, grammatically, if you're talking about a hand, which is Lashon Nekeva, Yado HaChazaka, his strong hand. The Malbim is saying, Shalo Tomar, that my hand shall not say, Ani Hasharti es Avram. I caused Avram to be rich. In other words, we do have skills, we do have powers. And the Malbim says that exercising our unique powers and accomplishing is the greatest gives the greatest sense of satisfaction, more than any money can buy. But we must always understand, we must always remember that our accomplishments are the accomplishments that are fueled by and enabled by the Almighty. And if the Almighty does not fuel and enable, it will not happen. And we, as the Jewish people, are facing a challenge right now. We have a Yad, Baruch Hashem. Thank God. We have Tzva Haganah Yisrael. We have the Israel Defense Forces. Behind Israel Defense Forces is the power of the Almighty. It is up to all of us to help assure that Tzva Haganah Yisrael, that the IDF has the power of the Almighty behind it, so that it can be successful in its mission. And we help assuring that by, number one, understanding Shelo Tomar, that the hand shall not say. We must always be mindful. It's not our hand that does the work. It's HaKadosh Baruch Hu who does the work. And we help not only through understanding that, but by davening, by engaging in prayer, at whatever level we're capable of doing. Shema Yisrael, saying Shema in the morning and Shema at night, Moda'ani, saying Shemona Esrei, Amida, whatever it is, whatever we're capable of, we say it. Extra Tehillim, extra prayers, davening for the state of Israel, davening for the soldiers of Israel who are defending them and us. If we engage in prayer with all of our hearts, we add to the likelihood of success by deepening our relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with the Almighty, so that all of us together can create the divine power of Kel Elyon Konei Shemayim Va'aretz, the highest God, the highest power, who exercises his divine providence over the entire world. And we pray that he exercises divine providence over the people of Israel, over the Jewish people all over the world, over all the people all over the world, and especially the Israel Defense Forces, so that they will be victorious in this battle. Have a good Shabbos.